Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having as good of a morning as I am. Maddie is not talking to me right now, so we're going to leave her there for a little bit. Alex, good morning. Fish, good morning. Fish, how was your day yesterday?
It was good. It was, Serena Williams came back yesterday. She played doubles. Their team won.
How are you? Well. I don't care about Serena Williams or tennis. How are you?
Great. Fine.
Thank you. That's it.
That's it? Okay, cool.
Oh, God. You know what? There's no better way to start off a Wednesday morning.
FL Avila?
No, actually, we're not going to open up with Tigers. We're going to open up with Moritz Seider winning the Calder Memorial Trophy. Round of applause, by the way, everybody in the room.
Yes.
Mo Seider wins. You know what's funny? Not only did he win the award and completely throw his parents under the bus, shockingly, he's the first Red Wing to win the award since 1965. And I'm like thinking in my head, how many fantastic rookies has this team drafted in that 50, 60, 70-year span? Steve Yzerman was the notable one.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I go back and I check the voting because why wouldn't you? You're curious.
Yeah.
Which Hall of Fame player was better than Steve Yzerman's 85 points his rookie year? It's a goddamn goalie. But the goalie had a good year, to be fair. Mm-hmm. I was surprised. The first winner since 1965. Shout out to Mo Seider.
Well, we deserve too.
By the way, he was Steve Yzerman's first draft pick. Mm-hmm. Went into the system. I would say if you want to compare him to, how it happens in the NBA, everyone's talking about Chet Holmgren in the upcoming draft. Oh, he needs to work into his body. He needs to develop his body. That's exactly what Mo did in a few years. And now he's the most outstanding rookie. I think he is somebody. Do I think he could be Cale Makar? Probably not offensively. He did have 50 points, though. 7 goals, 43 assists his rookie year. He's an impact player. Could he ever get to 20, 22 goals in a single season?
He could.
I'm not going to put that limit on him. He's a fantastic player, and I think he's only going to get better, and I don't see why not next year, 12, 15, maybe 18 goals. Who knows? He is a very talented player. Unbelievable. Rookie of the year. Most outstanding rookie in his class. I did have a little bit of issue with the voting. Again, the guy won the award. I believe the most deserving player won the award, but I do have a problem with the voting. I want to know why the Boston goalie got 2 first-place votes. And I want to know who the 2 dumb motherfuckers are that voted for him. And as you would say, to add to that, I want to know the 4 people that put Mo Seider in 4th place on their ballot. These things should be public, honestly. I feel like we would get more accurate voting and less biased voting if your vote was public.
I mean, they'd still do the same thing. They'd still vote for the guy that they
would vote, sure, but then the 2 reporters, writers, whoever they are, that voted for a goalie over Michael Bunting, Lucas Raymond, Zegras, and Seider. Are you kidding me? No, that should. I think it should be public. That was so stupid. And I'd agree with all of you in the chat. It's probably Boston writers. I know they're a little.
Assume so.
A little slow.
Remember, you can't fix stupid.
Can't fix stupid. I do agree, Fish. Thank you so much. But again, what is the point of having a vote if you're not going to do it honestly? Right? Like, doesn't that mean something to have a vote? I wish Terry was in today, because Terry used to be a voter. And I believe he still votes on a few awards. Doesn't it mean something to be a voter? And that's what you do? Really? Come on.
I mean, most of the writers take it for granted that they have a vote. So they just try to F up the system.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like it at all. But I have to say, Austin Matthews wins Ted Lindsay Award, wins the Hart Trophy, deservingly so. He was the best player in hockey this year. Connor McDavid was a close second. It's nice. It is good to see where the league is going. But if you look at the Calder Memorial Trophy and who's won it over the last few years, Mo Seider stacks up with some of the better players. Last year, Kaprizov. The year prior, Cale Makar. Elias Pettersson in 2019. Matthew Barzal, 2018. Austin Matthews, 2017. He's a part of good company. And to win the Calder Memorial Trophy, typically, when you win it and you're a defenseman, you're special. And it's typically reserved for that top 3, top 4, top 5 pick that's just going to come into the league right away and get you 60, 70 points. Well, who cares? Because you have Mo Seider who put up 50. It's a great night for the Red Wings. I thought it was a great signal of where they will be in the future. You saw the Red Wings put out a few social media videos I thought that was awesome, one of which featured Darren McCarty. Darren wasn't surprised at all. I can't wait to hear his thoughts on the award. Cale did win the Norris Trophy, by the way, well-deserved. He was the most outstanding defenseman all season and the most impactful. I could argue he was in the top 3 or top 4 in all of hockey in terms of the most impactful players. Connor McDavid, Austin Matthews, Nathan McKinnon, and you have to put in this kid. This kid, as a defender, is one of the most important players on the power play unit for Colorado, and you're seeing it in the Stanley Cup Finals. But as a preview, as a look to the future, Detroit, you're in good hands. Mo Seider is a fantastic hockey player. Mo Seider is and can be, he is your best defender, and he can be your, listen, this is hockey town, okay? All the respect in the world for Nicholas Lidstrom. Can he be that for you for 12, 15, 16 years? You hope
Possible.
so. Does he have the talent? I think so. Does he have the leadership capabilities? I think he's a very bright young man. I think he can develop them for sure. And you look at, I think one of the most important things is he is such a humble human off the ice. But when he gets on the ice, it's go time. I'd say he doesn't care who you are.
Smash some people's faces in.
100%. And I love that. I love that. A lot of people in the chat saying Mo Seider is our Victor Hedman. Interesting.
Okay. Like that.
That would be... Yeah, I get it. That's fair. That is fair. 15 goals from Big Mo would be huge next season. Dude gets 100 hits, 100 blocks, and 50-plus assists. Goals are just a bonus. Keith, I do agree. You still want to see him take that evolution in the power play. You know, what Makar's doing out in Colorado is nothing short of amazing. Do you need Mo Seider to play at that level? Maybe you don't, at least offensively, because I believe he provides you more defensively than Cale does. But I think it's just a part of his game that'll naturally grow. So Mo Seider trending in the best way. Lucas Raymond finished 4th in the voting. I didn't see too many people have an issue with that. Who cares who's in 2nd, 3rd, or 4th anyways? But at the end of the day, I thought 4th was whatever. That was fine. I thought Michael Bunting was deserving of a top 2 finish over Zegras, but that was just my opinion. Again, I don't have a vote either. I can't believe I'm saying this. Adam, I agree with you. The Red Wings have a bright future. Yeah, I think everybody agrees with this. Steve Yzerman's doing a great job, and he has enough examples. Lucas Raymond was fortunate to be on the team to start the year. I think everybody is very happy about that. Verona down, Bertuzzi in and out, if I recall, with the COVID restrictions. So you got to see Lucas Raymond earlier than Yzerman probably would have wanted, and I thought Lucas handled himself really well. What's the evolution for Raymond going into next season? Again, special players in the NHL don't take long. They don't wait, they go. And I think 30 goals minimum next season for Lucas Raymond should be the expectation. I think the kid can be one of the better goal scorers in the league. Do I think he's a 100, 105, 110-point getter? I don't think so. I think his ability to set up his teammates is something he's going to have to work on, and you probably won't see him become very good at it up until year 3, year 4 is when he'll start to look like a real pro. But his goal scoring, I think 30 goals minimum, and he'll be a guy that we'll be talking about getting multiple seasons, let's say 3 in a 5-year span where he scores 40 goals. I mean, he's that kind of a talent, he's that kind of a player, and I think he's only going to get better. I really do. Good times for the Detroit Red Wings. We have a jam-packed show today. The Detroit Lions were polled as the most underrated NFC team, team in the North, which I found interesting. They had the Niners as the most underrated team in the NFC West. How does that make sense? They were in the NFC Championship game next year, but we'll get to that at 8:15, 9 o'clock. Prashanth Iyer.
Yes.
I hope I'm saying that correctly. Formerly of the Athletic Detroit, will be in to discuss Moritz Seider winning the Calder Memorial Trophy, who the Red Wings will pursue as their head coach, and of course, the question everybody's asking, what are they going to be doing in free agency? So we'll get to that top of the hour at 9 o'clock. Should the Pistons keep Jerami Grant at 9:15? And then we have some fun games lined up for you at 8:45 with myself and Maddie. But before we go, I got to tell you about MyBookie. MyBookie is the official sports betting partner of the Woodward Sports Network. MyBookie, bet from anywhere, anytime using MyBookie. If you haven't signed up already, use promo code Woodward. They'll match your first deposit. And as always, if you have a gambling problem, please call the Gambling Problem Hotline at 1-800-270-7117.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
And we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show. The Detroit Lions polled as the most underrated team in the NFC North. Of the teams that were voted the most underrated, the Niners out in the NFC West. I thought that was super interesting. But let's focus on the Lions. I actually disagree with this. I don't think the Lions are the most underrated team going into this year. I think there's a consensus within the Lions community. There's a consensus within the league media that are all on the same page of the Lions got a lot better this offseason. They won't be a 3-win team. I believe Minnesota is the team that should be the most underrated. It's still going through the Packers, right? Cool. We're all on the same page? I disagree. I just do. I think Minnesota, it's their divisional win this year. Kevin O'Connell, year 1. Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers will lose their first division this year. They will not be the division winners. And I think Kevin O'Connell is going to unlock that offense to levels we haven't seen prior. I think the defense will just be better because of coaching. Coaching in general matters a lot. The talent on defense has gotten a lot better. So something to keep in mind moving forward with the Lions is, yes, I don't think they're the most underrated team in the North. I say it's the Vikings, but I get why. The perception is, hey, the Lions are the most underrated, right? They were a 3-win team last year, very friendly schedule. I think we're all in agreement this should be, at the worst, if everything went wrong, a 7-win team. That to me isn't underrated. Jim Caldwell should have been voted most underrated, our best Lions head coach. Mike, you're such a troll. You really are. Jim Caldwell should be voted as the most overrated bitch that's ever coached the Detroit Lions, if you ask me. I always say you're the champs till you get beat. So Green Bay's the favorite, but Minnesota wouldn't surprise me. Excuse me. Chuck Brewer in the chat. I agree. The Packers have Aaron Rodgers. They will win the division, says Jack Harrington in the chat. Jack, I don't know about that. It's nice having Aaron Rodgers, right? Back-to-back MVPs. No Devontae Adams. Throwing to Sammy Watkins, who is never available consistently. Throwing to a rookie Christian Watson, who I don't believe is the next Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson. So you tell me, well, they have a great defense? That's an argument. I think Green Bay will have a very, very, very good defense. I would argue top 5 in the league. This is an offensive league, fellas. Get comfortable. Get comfortable. This is an offensive league. And Aaron Rodgers, thrown out of the backfield to A.J. Dillon or Aaron Jones? Those are your weapons. They don't have a tight end. Where are the weapons on offense? Come on. They're not the Lions where they can run the ball at will just because they have a talented backfield. This is a team that's going to rely on Aaron Rodgers to spread the ball. They're not going to be as explosive on offense. They're not going to be able to convert on third down as effectively or as efficiently as they were last season and the year prior because Devontae Adams isn't there. Those back shoulder throws, who's Aaron Rodgers making that throw to? Christian Watson, Adam Lazard? Again, underrated. Underrated. I agree 100%. I do say it will be Minnesota that walks away as the division champs. Having said that, Stephen A. said it best. Everything that will go wrong for the Lions. Stephen A. is a dumbass. So how about we not do that this morning? You're gonna tell me a guy that's never watched a single game of Lions football, hasn't kept up with anything the Lions are doing this offseason or the offseason prior. He looks at his quick note sheet and it says they drafted Penei Sewell and Aiden Hutchinson. Oh, they have Jared Goff as their quarterback. They suck. Oh, Dan Campbell as their coach. They suck. Yeah, I'll pass on trusting that.
I'm sure if you asked Stephen A. that, he would say that you're totally wrong.
Of course he would. That's fine. Everyone can have their own opinion, buddy.
Okay.
See, I'm a fair person. Oh, man. But again, underrated. I think the Lions are accurately rated. The term underrated is they're going under the radar. Nobody's expecting them to have a good season. Nobody is expecting them to improve. And everyone's counting them out. I don't see anybody counting out the Lions. Mina Kimes on ESPN, sipping the Lions Kool-Aid. Dan Orlovsky, and loving it. The Pat McAfee show, they're loving it. I want to know where in media that people are actually tuning into where the Lions are being dogged outside of First Take with Stephen A. Tell me. You can't. Because everybody is on the same page that this team took a lot of steps moving forward this season and in the offseason. And that you expect under year 2 that if Dan Campbell is worth anything, that he will deliver much better results in year 2. And I don't think that's an unfair expectation, nor do I think that's underrated. Again, the key term, underrated. You writing off the Vikings and saying that the Packers will win the division falls under the line of the Vikings are going under the radar and they're underrated. So I disagree with the list. I still think the Lions, I don't believe the Lions will be under the radar. I bet if you could get a microphone in front of every coach this season, the week leading up to the Lions, they will tell you, yeah, look, I mean, we're still trying to figure out what we're going to do. Like, we're not sure how to game plan for this team defensively. Offensively, we have a good idea of what we want to do against their defense. But by week 5, week 6, week 7, who knows how good this pass rush may be. And that may change everything for you. So, again, I don't think they're going under the radar. I don't think they're underrated. I think the Vikings are the most underrated team in the North. If you want to go around the league, the Eagles in the East. Didn't the Eagles win their division last season? Or am I wrong?
I will.
Or were they, no, excuse me. They were a wild card team, correct? Yeah, the Cowboys won their division. Eagles were a wild card team. So a playoff team is underrated. See, like, again, what's our definition of underrated?
Well, it depends on what they did in the off season. You can make it to
In
the
that
playoffs and then
division,
lose your
in the
whole
NFC
team.
East, if we're being honest, a team that's going under the radar is the New York Giants because nobody's talking about them. And they just added 2 top 5 picks, essentially, with Evan Neal and Kayvon Thibodeau. They have Brian Dabble, who I believe will get the most he can get out of Daniel Jones. Do I think they're going to win the division? No.
They
But
have
I
a
think
chance.
the Giants, more than years prior, will be a much more difficult team to play against. I don't think they're going to get pushed around like they have been over the last 2, 3, 4 seasons. That's a team to me that's underrated. The NFC South, you have the Saints, the Bucks. The Bucks, they're not flying under the radar. Neither are the Saints. Excuse me. They lost Sean Payton. They're not winning 9 games this year. I don't care if Jameis Winston, Taysom Hill, or Moses showed up. It doesn't matter.
Eat those W's.
Come on. But you look at the other teams in the South. The Panthers. Is that a team that's going underrated? They had a top defense for the first 3-4 weeks of the season last year. Everybody got hurt. McCaffrey got hurt. That's a team that I would qualify as underrated or going under the radar a little bit, right? You have Matt Corral as the backup quarterback to Sam Darnold. Wait and see. Wait and see. I'm all for it. I'm interested. I'm interested to see how it works out with Carolina. I still think Matt Rule gets fired. I think they have a very impatient GM who has made some suspect moves. I think Matt Rule, when his team is healthy, has shown he can coach, but that's no excuse. If you're going to win 2, 3, 4, 5 games a year, you're not going to have a job in this league. Wake up. This doesn't just apply to Dan Campbell. It applies to every coach in the NFL. You can't win football games. You will not be coaching our football team. And that goes across for every team in the league. There are no exceptions. Black, white, you believe that the earth is flat. It's a sphere. I don't care. You win football games, and you're winning your division, and you're winning playoff games, you're a good coach. You're not a good coach. You're not. You're just not. So that's important also. And you look at the NFC West, the Cardinals, the Rams, the Niners. I don't think anybody is sleeping on any of those teams, and we all expect Seattle to be dog crap. So I don't even qualify any of those teams in that division. You go to the AFC, you want to say the Broncos, they have Russell Wilson now. How are they underrated? The team that is going under the radar, in my opinion, in the AFC West is the Chiefs. They lost Tyreek Hill. And everyone's talking about the Raiders. They're talking about the Broncos and the Chargers. And they absolutely should. That is the most stacked division I have seen in a long time. I can't recall ever looking at a division that had 4 quarterbacks like that. Having said that, the Chiefs are the Chiefs. They do have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. Do I believe they'll be as explosive? Who knows? If Travis Kelce can play the full season and Sky Moore is a legitimate threat, maybe they pick off where they left off. Or pick up where they left off, excuse me. But at the end of the day, we're talking about a division that is just completely stacked. In the North, Baltimore Ravens, I think, come to mind for me. In the AFC East, I would say the Jets. Not the Patriots. The Patriots were in the playoffs. They're not an underrated team. They have the greatest head coach ever. And they have a rookie now going into his second year who was a Pro Bowler year 1. The Jets are the underrated team. Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, giving support for Zach Wilson. Will Zach Wilson be it year 2? And I don't want to hear, barring injury, Zach Wilson, he's developing. If you look around the league, all the top quarterbacks, Matthew Stafford was injured his first 2 years. His first full season, 5,000 yards. They show it to you right away. Joe Burrow shows it to you right away, gets hurt, comes back, shows it again. Kyler Murray shows you right away. Russell Wilson shows you right away. Peyton Manning, even though he threw a ton of interceptions, showed you right away. The great quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, even though he sat, showed you right away when he came in. You know within 20 to 24 starts whether or not your quarterback is the guy unless he is periodically hurt and he only plays 6-8 games a year. Well, then you're just in a bad situation. You have an injury-prone quarterback. But if you look around, Josh Allen, year 2, showed out. Look around the league. Even Mac Jones, even though you don't like him, that's fine. He still played good football, decent quarterback football last season. They show you typically right away. Now, do you have your outliers who blossom late? Sure. Happens. But not because they played their first 2 years and they sucked, and then they turn it around in year 3. That typically isn't how the quarterback position works. They're either insert and they play football the way it should be played, or they don't. And it's as simple as that. Do you think the Lions are underrated in the North, or the most underrated team in the North? I do want to know all of you think. Does that make Adam our Brad Marchand? I don't even want to know what the hell you guys are talking about. I think Darnold can still be formidable. They beef their O-line up. Darnold has never been protected. Anthony, I do agree. Darnold has never been protected. Not only never protected, Christian McCaffrey, when available last season, they were a dynamic and difficult team to beat. They would easily beat the bad teams, and they would compete against the good teams. He wasn't available all season. The defense got hurt. They lost J.C. Horn. They lost their linebacker. They lost 2 interior linemen. They lost an edge rusher. That's tough to deal with, and I get it. But sorry, you gotta. This is a result-based business. Oh, you broke your leg. All right, what's stopping you from finishing your essay? Your leg's broken, not your hands, right? That's kind of how the league is. It's very cutthroat. Sorry. Panthers trying to get Baker Mayfield? I don't think so. I don't think Baker Mayfield at all to anywhere. Deshaun Watson will be suspended for the season.
Baker Mayfield will land a job somewhere. It's
Baker
the NFL.
Mayfield will play for the Cleveland Browns. If not, it'll be Jacoby Brissett, and Baker Mayfield will likely sit out the season, will not be punished by the Browns. They will pay him, and then he will be a free agent and go as he pleases. It's that simple. Seeing is believing, Adam. I want to see this team walk the walk and not talk the talk and become a better football team. I do agree, Steve. I do agree 100%, and that's what we play the games for, right? I don't think we're the most underrated team. When you can run the ball like we can, you can compete against anyone. Now, if we can stop the run, hoping Levi and McNeil improve, we'll be in any game. Eminem, I agree. I don't expect the Lions to get blown out in any game this year. Now, Adam, what does that mean? Well, the point is they're going to be a difficult matchup. And like I've always been, like I've said since March or February, I've told you this is just going to be a pain-in-the-ass team to play against. And those aren't the teams that are fun to play against. Teams that remind me of the Lions, that if you want to look to what the Lions can build, maybe not schematically, but at least how they play, the Browns are a pain in the ass to play against when they're healthy. So are the Ravens, so are the Niners. So you could be a pain-in-the-ass team and be successful and win your division and get to conference title games. Welcome to the NFL. Many ways to win. When we get back, Michigan has a serious quarterback problem. No, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Cade McNamara is some bad quarterback. But we're going to all agree in the next topic.
You want him, though.
No. We're going to all agree to be honest about what happened last season. And if we can all be honest about what happened last season, I think by 8:45 when we conclude the topic, everybody in here is going to be on the same page and much happier on in life. Okay? But before we do, I got to tell you about the official studio sponsor of the Woodward Sports Network, and that is Planet Fitness. Your home of a judgment-free zone. Get to Planet Fitness and sign up for $0 down, $10 a month, whether you want to do it on the Planet Fitness website at planetfitness.com or one of their many Metro Detroit locations. Remember that your fitness is essential, and let them know that Woodward Sports sent you.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risks, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader bet tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Michigan football. Michigan football. They won their first Big Ten title last season since 2004. Great accomplishment. They had 3 first-round picks, I believe. Dax Hill, Aiden Hutchinson, David Ajabo. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe so. Fantastic season. Hassan Haskins leading the backfield. Blake Corum, dynamic running back. You had J.J. McCarthy in and out of the lineup. Emerging wide receivers, nothing special. Eric Aldo was a solid player for you. I want to revisit last season. And I'm not going to make the case for J.J. McCarthy right now. I'm not. What I'm going to do is acknowledge what Cade McNamara is. And by the end of this, if we can acknowledge what he is, then I think there is absolutely no reason that you would actually sit here and tell me, Adam, Cade McNamara needs to be the starting quarterback for Michigan football this season. But before I go into the games, before we start going over last season, answer honestly. Do you want Michigan to be a team that's contending every single year for the Big Ten and for a college football playoff appearance?
That's what they should be.
Or do you want to be what you've been outside of last year for the prior 17 years? Now, the easy answer is we want Michigan to be a Big Ten contender every single season, of course. Yes, you're going to have some down years, but you're winning the Big Ten every 2, 3 years. That's the expectation. Can you put together a run like Ohio State? Maybe. Maybe. You got to recruit better. Ohio State just recruited the number 2, number 3 wide receiver in the country. You think they want to come play with Cade McNamara as their quarterback? Or J.J. McCarthy? There are recruiting implementations also in this decision. But before we get to all that, let's start with the games. They smoke Western Michigan 47-14 to start the year. Cade McNamara, 9 of 11, 136 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Didn't Ronnie Bell get injured in that game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Game manager. Against Washington, 31-10 victory, 7 of 15, 44 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Win against Northern Illinois, 63-10, 8 of 11, 191 yards. They beat Rutgers 20-13, 9 of 16, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And then he has his first really impactful game. I'm going to give him credit. Wisconsin. 38-17. They beat Wisconsin 17-28, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. Solid. In my opinion, his best game up until then, all season. Then he follows it up with the Nebraska performance. Oh, wait. 22 of 38, 255, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. But Michigan scored 38 points without their quarterback throwing a single touchdown. Isn't that funny? How does that make any sense? Then they beat Northwestern, 33-7. He doesn't need to do much. 20 of 27. But he's 20 of 27 and he only threw for 129 yards. So far, the first 7 games of the year, what I see is a limited game managing quarterback. Does anybody in the chat disagree so far? We're 7 games in. Does anybody disagree that he is an average game managing quarterback? Nothing special. 7 games into last season. Cool. I'm glad we acknowledge. The Michigan State game, he has a fantastic first half. I could argue a first 2.5, maybe even first 3 quarters. And then in the fourth quarter, he can't complete a single pass. He looks awful. He overthrows his wide receivers on 3 separate occasions, one of which would have resulted in a clear touchdown. That would have been a clear touchdown. The guy had 7 yards of separation. Michigan was near, I believe, the Michigan State 22-yard line. That was an easy touchdown, and he missed it. And they lose that game because of Kenneth Walker. Fine. But he does throw for 383 yards. His first big game, and they lose it. What do you know? He follows up with a win against Indiana, 10 of 18. He follows up with a Penn State win, 19 of 29. 21 of 28 against Maryland. And it's funny, all his touchdown passes, a majority of them, and when I say a majority, I mean more than half, came in the 3-game stretch against Indiana, Penn State, and Maryland. 9 of his 15 touchdown passes came in 3 games. Isn't that funny? And then, of course, against Ohio State, he threw an early interception. I was at the game. Jim Harbaugh was livid. Everybody, including myself in the stands, were disgusted. That should have been 14-0 Michigan to start the game. But he throws an interception. Ohio State goes down and scores, and it becomes a grind for a majority of the game, and then the run game picks it up. But he finishes 13 of 19, 150 yards, and an interception, no touchdowns. Cade McNamara, in the 11 regular season games, 12, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. 3, 6, 9. The 12 regular season games, Cade McNamara threw 1 or fewer touchdown passes on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 occasions. Half of your games, your quarterback threw a touchdown or less. 5 of them, he had 0 touchdowns. 1 of them, he had 1. Yes, he only threw 6 interceptions all year. In the regular season, he only threw 3. Yes, game-managing quarterback. I'm glad we all agree. He's a game-managing quarterback. Cool. Get to the Iowa game. Doesn't need to do much then. Still throws an interception. 16 of 24, 169 yards. Again, his average yards attempt, low. His yards per completion, low. No big plays. And then, of course, against Georgia, you can say he got exposed. The truth is, he's not near that level. He should not be the starting quarterback in a college football playoff game. And if you don't want to admit that, be my guest. But I've heard Cade McNamara's comments going into the season. Well, I'm a Big Ten starting quarterback. Or, I'm a Big Ten winning starting quarterback. Really? Buddy, in half the regular season games, you didn't throw a touchdown. You kidding me? You threw an interception in the 3 games that you actually played a good team in. Nebraska, Michigan State, and Ohio State. And you threw an interception in every single one of them. And then you threw 1 against Iowa. And then you threw 2 against Georgia. And I'm not saying JJ would have won you the game against Georgia. No, Georgia had an all-time team. They were the better team. They were the more deserving team. But you tell me, Michigan, how you're going to build a national title winner. Can you recruit defensive players like Georgia? Can you, Michigan? No, you can't. Oh, interesting. So what's Alabama? What's Clemson? What now is USC doing? Oklahoma? Hell, even teams in the SEC, Florida. What are all these teams doing now to combat? Ohio State. What are they doing to combat these kind of defenses, especially around in the SEC? Oh, wait, they don't care. And Alabama didn't care because they had Bryce Young and Jamison Williams in the SEC championship game, and they beat Georgia just fine. At the end of the day, call it what you want it. You look at all the teams that are competing on a national scale, year in and year out. They have a dynamic quarterback. They're one of the better recruiting teams in the country, obviously. I don't need to be Mr. Know-It-All right now. You guys know all this stuff. I'm not telling you anything new. Dynamic quarterback, exceptional skill position players, competent defense, very good head coach. Are Ohio State contenders this year? Yeah, they are, because of their offense. They'll probably get a little better on defense for sure, but still, because of their offense. Bama, their offense. Nick Saban, when the greatest coach in college football is acknowledging, I can't win with just defense anymore. I need to now recruit Jalen Hurts. I need to now recruit Tua Tagovailoa. I need to now recruit Bryce Young. And what? Well, Adam, Georgia won a national championship with Stetson Bennett. Really, guys? Do you recruit like Georgia? Have you ever had that kind of defense? Have you ever had 11 players that could play in the NFL on the field at a single time on defense? I don't believe that to be the case. Lewis Sine, Nakobe Dean, all NFL talents. Jordan Davis. Come on, guys. Let's be a little bit realistic here. All right? I want nothing more than for Michigan to actually become legitimate national contenders. The way they do that is by sending the right message and playing the right way. Yes, there is a right way to play football in today's world. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. Bill Belichick is struggling without Tom Brady. And he's the best defensive coach in the league. You look at all the defensive coaches around the league. The only two that have had semi-success have Josh Allen at quarterback and Bill Belichick as their head coach. Nobody else is having success. This is an offensive-driven league, and in the pros, it's an offensively driven league at the collegiate level. J.J. McCarthy is a better quarterback than Cade McNamara. Is he more experienced? No, he's not. Michigan, hear me out. You open up the season with Colorado State, Hawaii, Connecticut, Maryland, and then Iowa. Those first 4 games are so winnable, it's laughable. If you're telling me we need to see what Cade can give us, you want to do the 1 quarter, 2 quarter, whatever you want to do, I'm not here for it. Start J.J. McCarthy. Not because Cade wasn't an average game managing quarterback last season. But please look at how you won those games. You won those games because of Aiden Hutchinson, David Ajabo, and the defense, Dax Hill. You won those games because you had an outstanding defensive coordinator who is now back in the NFL, who you lost this year. How are you going to make all this up? With Cade throwing a 3-yard underneath route and hoping it goes to the house? Come on, guys. And you saw even against Western to start the year last year, before Ronnie even tore his ACL. Can Cade make the intermediate 12 to 17-yard throw? He can't consistently. He can throw a nice underneath route, and occasionally he can throw a nice deep ball. Not reliable. J.J. McCarthy inserts right away, makes a few plays no one has seen at Michigan maybe since Denard Robinson. And we're sitting here talking about Cade McNamara. He's a starting quarterback, Big Ten winning champion. Love him as a quarterback. He beat Ohio State. He did not beat Ohio State. Aiden fucking Hutchinson beat Ohio State. Hassan fucking Haskins beat Ohio State. Not Cade McNamara. Let's just call it what it is. And please, relieve me of the stupidity that we have in this town. What are you going to do at quarterback this year? Are you going to play the 5-star recruit? The one that said he'd do anything for Michigan? The one that has said all the right things in the offseason? Who will be a full go in less than 2 weeks now? They're going to be practicing, and Cade's going to do what he does, and JJ's going to wow people. And if Harbaugh ends up going with Cade McNamara over the kid that is impressing the hell out of everybody, who has a higher ceiling, blows my mind. Blows my mind. Cade seemed to throw a pretty damn consistent deep ball against Ohio State. Justin, I'm not sure what game you watched, buddy. I am not sure what game you watched. That was the game that was won in the trenches, both offensively and defensively. Cade had nothing to do. But since we're talking about Cade throwing the football, don't you remember Cade's red zone beautiful throw? Oh, but it went straight at the Ohio State player. Excuse me.
I do.
Forgot. Shut up, Justin. Shut up. Be quiet. Cade McNamara is just a game manager. Clemson didn't become Clemson because they had players like Cade McNamara and Stetson Bennett as their quarterback. Clemson got on the map because they went from Deshaun Watson to Trevor Lawrence, and they had dynamic offenses. Ohio State won national titles because of their offense. They got to college football playoffs because of their offense. They win the Big Ten because of their offense. Even Michigan State will have to improve on offense, but they have Jaden Reed. They have Peyton Thorne, who I think is a better quarterback than Cade. But you start JJ day one, you have the second best quarterback in the country. Or excuse me, in the Big Ten. CJ Stroud and JJ McCarthy. And who knows what JJ's ceiling is. And if, let's say, JJ goes out and you have a 10-win season, you're going into next season with national championship expectations. Because he's going to want to stay. because he's going to want to be a first-round pick, and he's going to want to prove himself, and he's going to want to get another year under his belt. And he knows that there's other recruits coming in, and that he can recruit more players to come and play for Michigan if he plays. 5-star recruits, notably. But if you don't, good luck. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. We got Prashanth Iyer on the Detroit Red Wings coming up at 9 o'clock. And up next, we're going to talk about whether or not the Detroit Pistons should keep Jerami Grant for veteran leadership on the court. But before we do, I need to tell you about the Mulligan, brought to you by Gypsy Vodka. 8% alcohol, iced tea, lemonade, and of course mixed with Gypsy Vodka. Gypsy Vodka is the drink of the summer, whether you're on the golf course or in the backyard with your friends. Open a can of the Mulligan and enjoy your time just like Neil Rule did with Darren McCarty yesterday. And as always, please, if you're going to drink responsibly.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart, right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
And we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show, 8:48. Should the Detroit Pistons keep Jerami Grant for his veteran leadership on the court? Troy Weaver came out notably said, I don't want a team full of 20-year-olds. And while I do agree with that, that's what free agency is for, Troy. And if we're honest here, can we run a YouTube poll? What do you believe Jerami Grant is worth? A lottery pick or a mid to late first round pick? I want to know what you think at home. I really do. Because I hear a lot about just trade Jerami Grant straight up for the number 7 pick. I would not do that if I was Portland. I think that's stupid. Why would I do that? And if you were the Portland GM, would you do it? I don't think so. Oh, man. Oh, man. Troy, I hope you do trade Jerami Grant, not because you have to, not because you get the number 7 pick, because you can trade him. I like the Hawks deal. Bogdanovich in the 13th pick. That makes sense to me. That's about his market. You're not getting the 7th overall pick in the NBA draft for Jerami Grant. I think he's a mid to late first rounder in terms of value. I think you can package Grant along with maybe a few late picks in the second round that you've stacked up over the years for Bogdanovich in the 13th overall pick. And I think that's a good move. And at 13, you'll have a select few players that could be available that you could like to develop maybe into a role player. Do I agree you want veteran leadership on the court? Yes, you do. You don't want your starting 5 to be Cade Cunningham, let's say for argument's sake, Jaden Ivey, Sadiq Bey, Marvin Bagley, and Isaiah Stewart. It's too young, it's too inefficient, and there's no pure scorer on that team, at least proven in the NBA. You're going to need older guys. And when I look at guys that are going to be upcoming free agents this year, I mean, you can look at even some of the players that are going to be leaving Golden State. You have Andre Iguodala leaving. I believe Kevon Looney, his deal is expiring this season or next season. But the point is you have Montrezl Harrell, Serge Ibaka, TJ Warren, Yusuf Nurkic, Joe Ingles, Andre Iguodala, Ricky Rubio, Gary Harris, a few that come to mind, JaVale McGee, Robin Lopez, Pat Connaughton, Kevin Knox, Miles Bridges, There are players available. Nicholas Batum. You can get older. Detroit, you can get older. And I'm glad we agree so far in the chat. 62% say he's a late first-round pick in terms of value. I agree. I don't believe he's worth a lottery pick. I believe he's worth a late first-round pick. The poll doesn't have second-round option. Rob, you're an asshole. That's rude. That's rude. I'm mean, and I don't even think that's rude. Grant is definitely worth a lottery pick. He's going to be an all-star. Tanner? What does that mean? Call in, Tanner. Call in and explain to me what you mean. 313-552-6322. Grant is definitely worth a lottery pick. So, Tanner, I'm putting you on the spot, buddy. If you are the Portland GM, would you trade the number 7 overall pick for Jerami Grant straight up? And if you were the Kings GM, would you trade the number 4 pick overall for Jerami Grant straight up? Let's hear it, Tanner. I like Brogdon, but he's just not durable for the price. I agree. I am not interested in Jalen Brunson at all. He's proven himself already. What has Grant proven himself to be? A good number 3 on an excellent contending team. He's not a number 2. He's definitely not a number 1. He's a number 3. He can't be the 3 on this team because he would be the oldest player, arguably, and the most experienced, which means it'll likely be Cade, then Jerami, then Sadiq, and then the kid you're going to draft number 5 overall. Now, you tell me how that's going to work out for development. Troy can say all he wants. I don't want a team full of 20-year-olds. Fine. Fine, get older. But don't get older with players who are the sole primary ball handlers. I agree, Prague. Not sure I would agree. A lottery pick has the potential to take over a team. Grant is at best a number 2 option on a good team. See, I don't believe that to even be the case, Prague. I believe he's a good option as a number 3 on a good team. Not as a number 2. Jerami Grant is not a number 2. Jerami Grant, you guys have to understand what a number 2 is in this league. D. Wade was a number 2 at one point in his career. Anthony Davis was a 2 to LeBron. Kyrie Irving was a number 2 to LeBron. Stephen Clay, Stephen Draymond, Kawhi, and Pascal Siakam. Those are number 2s in this league. I haven't watched a basketball game since Chauncey ran point. Eric, well, that's your fault. I can't help you. Grant's a 2 and 2.5. You know what? Honestly, Bennett, that's a really good. That's fair. He's somewhere between a 2 and a 3. He's not a 2. He's not what you'd call a 3. I'm fair with that. I think that's fair. That's very fair of you. I think it makes sense for Portland since they're trying to contend now. Let me ask you, Gabe. I love you people. It makes sense for Portland. I would try if I was the GM. Would you? If you were the GM of the Portland Trailblazers, you're going to sell to me that you're going to trade for Jerami Grant for the number 7 pick. Why? So you can be the number 7 seed, 6 seed this year and get dicked in the first round? Yeah, okay. You're really contending. You know, if you had the balls to be the Portland GM, you know what you would do? You would ship Damian Lillard the hell out of town and start from scratch and start rebuilding because that's what Portland needs. Portland aren't Jerami Grant away. Portland are not a Jerami Grant away. They are a superstar and Jerami Grant away. Superstar and a Jerami Grant.
What if they keep Damian Lillard and get Jerami Grant?
I think it's a mistake. They're trying to win in a losing situation. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it at all. Interested in John Collins or Obi Toppin for Grant? John Collins, interesting. Obi Toppin, no. I'm not sure why the Knicks would make that trade. Looks like the Knicks are trying to get a young player as well. They're trying to move up to pick number 4, supposedly. Portland ain't trying to rebuild, though. They want to keep Dame. I don't care what they want to do. They're not contenders next year if they get Jerami Grant. Why can't we just be honest here? Does anybody in the chat think Portland are going to be in the Western Conference Final if they trade for Jerami Grant? If the answer is no, why the fuck would you trade the number 7 overall pick for Jerami Grant?
Someone said Jerami Grant's going to be an all-star.
What the hell does that even mean in today's NBA? He's an all-star.
Go to the all-star game?
People were crying that he was an all-star when he was averaging 23 points a game for the Pistons, playing losing basketball. Jerami Grant would be exposed as a number 2 option in Portland. They wouldn't even make the playoffs. Portland is trying to keep Dame, which is the only player that could keep them afloat. Look, although I agree that's their only piece, that's your only piece. And when his contract expires and he walks, then what? You would have regretted not trading him a few years earlier and loading up with picks. You're going to have to go into a rebuild eventually. Try to sucker the Kings if it's true they want to somehow make a playoff push. The Kings are another example of a stupid, poorly ran franchise. De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis. You have the number 4 overall pick in the draft. I believe you can grab a player at number 4 that will walk into the league and contribute on your basketball team, given who was surrounding him. And it makes sense for them. But they have Davion Mitchell. They have De'Aaron Fox. So they're not interested in Jaden Ivey. Okay. Well, they want a Keegan Murray. Okay, well, just take him at 4. Because no one's stupid enough to trade up to 4. Unless they really, really, really want Jaden Ivey. But tough luck, Sacramento. You take or you trade that pick and the team at 4 picks Jaden Ivey. The Pistons are taking Keegan Murray. And they're going to give you a nice middle finger. And then they're going to tell you, now what? What are you going to do? You want your guy? Cool. The Pistons have all the power, I think, in this draft. I don't think the Kings can move. And I believe the Kings are going to end up selecting Keegan Murray, number 4 overall, which is a good thing for the Pistons. My thought process would be sign Ayton in free agency. He's a restricted free agent. That would be Lillard, Simmons, Grant, and Ayton. That doesn't seem too bad. You can't sign Simmons. Or, excuse me, you can't sign Grant. Why am I saying Grant? Ayton. The way you get Ayton is a sign and trade. You don't have the capital to sign and trade for Ayton. You don't. And are you going to give him max contract money? Go for it. That's fine. What's to stop the Suns from matching it? He's a restricted free agent. Please keep that in mind. I need some Detroit, Michigan team championship by 2030 odds plus 500 question mark. I don't like... Championships are hard, guys. The last time the Packers won a championship was 11 years ago.
Yeah.
The last time...
Even the Steelers.
The last time the Bulls won a championship, 98. The last time the Knicks in the 70s. The last time the Steelers, the early 2000s, or mid-2000s to late 2000s, excuse me. Well, when was the game against Arizona? 2009 or 10? It was one of those dates that the Steelers have last won a Super Bowl.
I think it was 9.
Probably 2009. But the point is, it's hard to win a championship, guys. How about you start doing the things that get you there?
Okay,
winning your division.
We're optimistic because their teams are actually good.
Whose teams?
Detroit teams. Lions are actually, well, we hope they're good.
No one has proven that they're good yet. They're all trending in the right direction.
Yes.
No one's proven that they're good yet. We need to go to break. When we get back, we have a very special guest joining us at 9 o'clock. We will go to break. When we get back, I'm excited. Red Wings talk. This is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. Top of the hour. But that's it, actually. That's it. We'll do. We'll go to break. We'll get Prashanth on, and then we'll go from there, okay? Yes, sir. We'll see you guys in a little bit.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
And we're back, top of the hour, brought to you by Bedrock Detroit here on the Morning Woodward Show. I'm excited. Unfortunately, our guest lost internet. Prashanth won't be able to be with us, at least for the next half hour. He said AT&T gave him an estimate of 20 minutes in his house. So we'll see if we get him on a little later. So we'll just move on. The Tigers lost yesterday 5-4 to the Boston Red Sox.
Hey, they played that ninth inning tough.
Well, that's it.
Well,
that's all I'm talking about, the Tigers in the game yesterday. Next topic.
Riley Green had a spectacular grab. Did you see that?
Shut the fuck up. We're not talking about the game.
Okay.
The Tigers lost again. That's it. Moving on.
Okay.
Moving on. Isaac Paredes, if you guys saw, hit 3 home runs yesterday. So, just give me a second.
Oh boy.
Paredes hit 3 home runs yesterday. And from the bottom of my heart, all I want to say to Avila is go fuck yourself.
There we go.
And do everybody in Detroit a favor. Leave. Resign. Go retire and play golf. Go play putt-putt mini golf. I don't care. Go drive the little go-karts at the whatever those parks with the kids.
The go-karts?
Go-karts, thank you. Leave. Nobody wants you here, man. You suck at your job. You suck at your job. And I wish Chris Ilitch had the balls to walk into that room and open the door and say, Al, you fucking suck. Get the fuck out of here. But that's not the case. That's not the case. So, that's it for the Tigers. Give me 1 second.
Okay, you're going to get angry what I'm going to say because it's not totally, I'm not saying it's not totally Avila's fault. Sometimes change of scenery helps a player win. What if he didn't want to play in Detroit?
How about you build an environment that allows players to succeed and grow?
Well, yeah, I agree with that. That's why I said it's not totally his fault. It's still his fault, but I'll say 50-50. Can I say 50-50?
No.
51-49?
No. It's 99.9% his fault.
But the player still has to want to play for the Tigers.
Why would somebody want to play for the Tigers when the GM is making moves to acquire players at his position, Jamer Candelario, instead of playing the young up-and-coming kid? Get out of here. 99% Avila. He has failed the Tigers. He's failed their
Detroit
fan base.
baseball, yeah.
He's failed the city.
Yeah.
He's failed every individual that associates or supports the Detroit Tigers. And I am so tired of having to come up here every day after a baseball game and try to lie to you and say, well, they look good. Spencer Torkelson had another good at-bat. Riley Green looks really good. All right, the team's playing better with Riley Green back. That doesn't mean they were going to do this at the start of the season. I don't want to hear the injury excuse. They're still losing baseball games consistently.
Yeah, they are.
Don't want to hear it. Pitching's doing its best job against a really stacked Boston team to keep the game under 5 runs, and they have been. They've lost both games now by only allowing 5 runs. Impressive, impressive pitching performance. Where are the bats? Nowhere to be found.
Nope.
Adam, did you see the shortstop from Pittsburgh throw a 97-mile-an-hour ball from short?
Yeah, that was impressive.
I didn't. Could you guys show me that? Could you pull that up when you get a second? Please? Thank you. I'm actually, that's amazing.
It was like the fastest thrown ball from an outfield or something like that.
Really?
It's pretty impressive.
Well, I don't think that's true. I think it's Bo Jackson. Do you guys know Bo Jackson's famous throw from left field to first base?
I do.
So reportedly, supposedly, they ran scientific tests based on how long it took to get from that point of the field to first base, and they clocked it in at somewhere like 107, 111 miles an hour.
That's impressive.
So I don't know if that's true. That's just what I heard and read regarding that play. Could be wrong, but I really want to see that play. That is amazing. Why should Hinch stay and work with this joke of a front office? Brendan, I agree. I'm not sure why he would. And ask yourself at home, if you were regarded as one of the better employees in the country at your company, compared to everybody that you compete against, you were one of the best employees. But your supervisor, your manager, the person that you work with on a daily basis, is the worst in the country at his job. How would that make you feel? How would that not only make you feel, what motivation would you have to continue to put in A+ quality work while the guy on your team that you are assigned to is giving you not even an F? I wouldn't even give Al a grade. That's how bad it is. Hurts me. It really hurts me. That sucks. That really sucks. Like, the Tigers suck. Al Avila sucks. And talking about Al Avila sucks. Not fun. So, Chris, whenever you decide you want to give a shit about this team, I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear you say, our front office has not done a good enough job these past 8 seasons, getting us prepared for a moment to have a top 5 manager in baseball like AJ Hinch is, to call up our prospects like we have. This is the most depressing topic you guys can probably give me to talk about on any given day. I think this Tigers team stacks up with as disappointing, maybe not as disappointing, but borderline close to being as disappointing as that Lions 0-16 team. It's that much of a gut punch. And maybe this team needs to lose a majority of the games, and maybe they need to go out and lose 105 games this year just for maybe Chris to wake up a little bit. But the players are professionals. The managers are professional. He's one of the best in the game. They're not going to allow that to happen. Tigers are going to win some baseball games coming up pretty soon. Series will change. They have a good homestand coming up as well. They're going to win some baseball games, and everyone's going to forget about Al Avila, and no one's going to care. And only Tigers fans are going to vent their frustrations, but the front office won't care. The players are going to ignore it because they're professionals. Chris Ilitch just doesn't care. The Ilitch family doesn't care. They don't care about you, Detroit Tigers fans. That's the truth. Because if they did, they wouldn't be, 70 games in almost this year, saying, man, this guy in the front office is really leading the charge, man. We're doing a good job here. Let's just let it ride the course. Let's give him a cupcake interview on Bally Sports where he talks about how, they felt confident that they were 100% out of the rebuild. And, things haven't gone according to plan. But, we're evaluating every aspect of what we're doing here. And moving forward, we will be better. Okay, Al. I know, Al. I know. You need another 8 years. Oh, Al Avila's calling me. 1 second. Hey, Al. You still in town? Yeah, you should probably leave. Yeah, I do think you suck at your job. Yeah, you're actually the worst GM in probably baseball history. You should be proud of it. Oh, no way. Al Avila says that they're really close. He only needs another 8 more years to get this team out of the rebuild. You know what, Al? I take back everything I said.
We should clap it up for Al Avila.
Yep. Al, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You're right. You just need 8 more years to get this team out of the rebuild. I totally understand. I'm going to shut the hell up. You know what you're doing. I apologize. Al, send my regards to Chris. Tell Chris he should give you a 5 to 8 year contract extension and make you the highest paid GM in baseball. You have a great day, Al.
So what is that, a total of 16 years?
So frustrating. And I don't want to hear, you need time. It takes time.
Oh, Adam, the injuries!
The injuries are the last of this team's problems. Hinch needs to get Avila fired behind the scenes. I don't like that. I think if you want to be an operating company, I think the person in charge of the company, who oversees the leaders of the company, needs to make leadership change decisions. Not one of the mid-level managers. Fish doesn't get Westphal fired. Fish can't come to me and tell me I don't like working with Westphal, fire him. That's not how this works. Does that make sense? So if Avila is going to get out of town, it's going to be because Chris Ilitch decided enough is enough. I'm embarrassing my father's name. This is not how we want to run this baseball team. We want to put together a successful product. I will commit to a new GM, and we're going to commit to AJ Hinch, and we're going to try to move forward in this process.
Can I be funny for a second?
Go for it.
Because I know if Westphal said bad things about me, you'd say, oh, okay, thank you, Alex, and you'd fire me immediately.
Fish, I have enough reasons to fire you. Nobody can tell me anything that would get you fired. Your job is secure here for the rest of your life.
No, that's nice of you.
Yeah, as long as you want to be here, you're more than welcome.
You're actually being nice this morning. That's good.
I'm just being
By the way,
honest.
did you wake up angry?
I always do.
Oh, well, because you started off the show nice. Other than calling people dumb, mother, but other than that, you were nice this morning.
Yeah. Illich busy with the national pizza brand of the NFL.
Yes,
Why would he care
Little
about
Caesars,
baseball?
Yep. He's got money now.
You know what's funny? If the Tigers were winning games this year, I don't think any of us care. I think any of us we would have all taken it two ways, right? I think the honest way, if the Tigers were winning games this year, is it would have just been outrage over the District of Detroit situation, but had nothing to do with the Tigers. But now that they suck, everyone's getting looped into this one. This is becoming a disaster. It truly is. Adam had his coffee this morning. That's why. Absolutely, Steve. Protect Fish at all costs. Fish is the man. How many years does AJ Hinch have left on his deal? That is a good question. I want to say 2 more years. It was a 3-year contract. It was a 3-year contract back in 2020. So next season is his final year. Next season is AJ Hinch's final year under his current agreement.
Yeah, run through 2023.
Born Cool makes a really good point. Lang, Vest, Faedo, and Brisky will all be gone by the trade deadline, and we will get nothing for them. That's why you got to make a move on Avila. Not because I'm being harsh and I don't want him in town. Oh my God, yeah. Trade deadline's coming up. MLB draft coming up later this summer. What are you going to do? Tell me. You're going to let Avila make those decisions? Huh? Is that the play? Avila. He's going to trade away pieces to improve your team, whether it's for now or the future. Yeah, because he has a great track record. Chris Fetter, by the way, removed his name from the Michigan college baseball job, so nobody has to worry about that moving forward. But what you should worry about is where you're getting your haircut, because there's no better place to get your haircut than Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. They're awesome, amazing stylists. Will take care of you like they take care of me, whether it's my beard, my hair. They do it all for me. They're fantastic. They're so clean, so precise. And to be honest with you, they have never left me where I walked away from a haircut feeling like, man, I don't look that good. I always feel pretty good after I walk out of Lady Jane's, and as should you. Walk in anytime, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Brandon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Glad that we can finally start trying to get the stigma off of mental health that's been there for all these years.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
And we are back here on the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Joining us now, and please forgive me when I botch your name. I apologize so much. I tried practicing this. Actually, I'm just going to ask you, how can I pronounce your name the appropriate way? Because I feel like I've been botching it all show.
All good. It's Prashanth Iyer.
Oh, okay. I was close. Prashanth, that's easy. It's not that bad. Well, how are you, man? Just so everybody knows at home. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm doing all right besides some internet issues, so you get to see me on a cell phone camera today, so hopefully that sticks out. And works.
No, it's looking good. It sounds good, so there's no issues. Thank you so much for joining us. Just so everybody knows, formerly on The Athletic, Detroit does a lot of great content in regards to the Detroit Red Wings, really knows his stuff. So I'm just going to ask you the obvious. Mo Seider, Calder Memorial Trophy winner last night, the first since 1965 for the Wings. One, were you surprised that he's the first wing since 65 to win the award? And second, just how good is Mo Seider?
Yeah, I mean, number one, it's shocking that he is the first when you consider the plethora of great players that have come through. I mean, you're talking about Yzerman not winning in 84. You're talking about Lidstrom not winning in 91. You're talking about Zetterberg not winning in 03. The list goes on and on and on, and it's just stunning that Seider really is the first one to do it, but I am not surprised whatsoever in the fact that he won. He was by and large the best rookie, was tasked with the difficult assignment night in and night out of anybody on any rookie really, including Michael Bunting at 26 years old. So, I think he is a tremendous hockey player. I think he's continued to outperform expectations all the way back to draft night. His Grant to in Sogla, and then now his first year in Detroit, guy is really a number one defenseman, in sort of the Ryan Suter or Shea Weber mold, the guy that can eat up 30 minutes a night for you and play in every situation.
Absolutely, he was fantastic. He did it all for the Wings last season. I do have to ask you, De Boer has taken a job. Who are the coaches available that you believe the Wings should pursue? And am I crazy or just too much of a Red Wings fanatic to suggest that Sergei Fedorov is in that pool of coaches, or is he just out of it and we're looking at Barry Trotz or one of these individuals in the league?
I don't think you're crazy to suggest Fedorov. When I was going through the candidates, he was a guy that I tossed out as well. The knock on him certainly is he's only had 1 year of head coaching experience over in the Continental Hockey League, the league in Russia. But, of course, in that 1 year, he wins the championship. So, it's a limited amount of his success, but it would definitely be a great story to have him back in Detroit. I think come back, the number one thing that have to be resolved is why is 91 not he could come back. It's looking to turn to certainly still attractive candidates, a little bit more role in management. So I don't know if that necessarily aligns with what Steve is looking for. And if not, then all of other guys out there would be typical candidates. Guys like Ron Sofsky, who's the coach of the Chicago Wolves, who are now in a call. He's a coach, smart guy, has had success in his 3 or 4 years down in the AHL between Chicago and Charlotte. I really like him as a potential candidate. And then over in Sweden, there's a couple of guys that I think are terrific. One being Roger Ronberg, who's the head coach of Frölunda, basically had his hands on every top Swedish player over the past decade. You name it, they played for him in some city, whether it's World Juniors team over in Frölunda or on a World Championship team. He's kind of coached everybody. And then the other guys over.
Prashanth, your cell is cutting. Your cell is cutting a ton. I'm not sure if you can move and try to get a better reception. I apologize, but what we'll do is we'll take a quick break, and we'll see if we can get this solved. And if not, we can just reschedule and get everything sorted out for later. But I appreciate you coming on. Just be patient for a little bit. Everybody, when we get back, we will either continue the conversation or we'll shift over to some NBA draft talk, in which we'll probably have Jeff on. We'll have to wait and see. But before we go, I have to tell you about our good friends over at the Sports Marketing Agency, who have done a lot of good work in leveraging mental health. Guys, when we come to substance abuse and mental health, you really have to support individuals that are in your social circle or even people you know. SMA does a hell of a job of it. They're fantastic individuals. They really care. People like Devin Gardner, Lomas Brown, our own Braylon Edwards, they have done a ton of great work in the community, and they're impacting communities by building unconventional bridges through sports and entertainment. So make sure you check them out, and we'll see you guys in a little bit.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risk, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device. Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
All right, NBA draft tomorrow. The New York Knicks reportedly are interested in trading up multiple picks to grab the Sacramento Kings pick at number 4 overall. What does that mean for the Pistons? I thought about this a lot. What happens at number 4 does impact the Pistons if you are on the Jaden Ivey is the right pick train. And if you are, I think we'll all agree that that's the guy you want. Do whatever you can to move up to 4 to get him. But Troy Weaver has come out and said publicly multiple times now he doesn't believe there's a drop-off after the top 3 prospects, which is interesting. Now, is the guy he wants available? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe, maybe not. But at the end of the day, I'm just waving for people. Excuse me, sorry. Anyways, at the end of the day, the Pistons have one of 2 options. Either you trade up for the number 4 overall pick. Or you're caught in a bind where you are relying on the number 4 pick not to be the player that you want. And we're joined by a good friend who's saving my ass right now. So shout out to Stick. I do appreciate him. What's up, Stick?
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Woodward Show featuring Adam Baydoun.
What's up, man? Miss you.
Oh, man, miss you too.
It's been a minute since we've been up here together.
This early. Yeah, we did a show. I believe we filled in for the Bottom Line once together.
Yeah, I don't even count that.
Yeah, but we haven't been on this early in a while. I just got my coffee, man. I'm rolling in here.
All right, cool.
Ready to rock. Dave Matthews last night.
How was it?
Seider last night.
How was it?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah?
It's fantastic. A lot of people running into a lot of old friends, and yeah, just had a good time last night.
Did you see Chad Bush there? I think he was there last night.
Chad Bush was there, and also Cintron.
Hell yeah.
Big shout out to Cintron. They had a big party going on, and they got us the tickets. So yeah, Cintron, thank you so much. Westfall, why'd you have me move that way? There.
My question for you, I haven't gotten your opinion yet on the Pistons, but before I ask you, I'm called a boomer a lot. So I've never been to Pine Knob. Is that a bad thing?
No.
No, that's not a bad thing.
How are you called a boomer?
Because he doesn't know who Charlie Brown and the Peanuts is. He doesn't know what a lot of things are.
Yeah, but boomers are old people.
Yeah, so they're calling him old for not knowing who some of the...
Old people would know who the hell Charlie Brown is. Old people been to Pine Knob.
I don't know.
He's the opposite of the boomer.
He's a youngin'?
He's a millennial.
Millennial?
you stupid millennial. I mean, man. Charlie Brown, you know who Charlie Brown is.
Apparently not.
Well, now I know.
Yeah,
yeah,
and
now
then
he
Elmer
knows.
Fudd?
You never saw a Charlie Brown Christmas growing up?
No, he has not.
You never saw the Lucy pulling the football from Charlie Brown when he's trying to kick it?
That's
Even the meme?
Classic.
See, Fish loving it.
Yes,
Yeah, no.
that was a clap.
I didn't know Elmer Fudd was the dude who was trying to shoot Bugs Bunny all these years.
Yep,
Yeah, he loves...
He got canceled, though. They had to take away his gun.
Yep.
For real. I'm not lying.
No,
Elmer Fudd was caught up in the mix, baby.
All right, let me ask you. Pistons picking 5th overall in the draft.
Yep.
Who's your guy at number 5, best case scenario first?
I mean, best case scenario, it's, Chet or Pablo fall in there. But
yeah.
That's not going to happen. Best case scenario that can happen, Ivy. That's who I want there. If he can fall there, I'd be super happy. I just love that idea of that backcourt, a super athletic guy and the smoothest dude on the planet in Cade Cunningham. You put them together, you got somebody that can, get an offense going and really just add some versatility to the team. But in all honesty, I don't even think Ivy's going to be there at 5, too. I'll be shocked if we're able to get him at 5.
Well, the rumor is if the Kings can't move, they're going to have to swallow a big pill and just take Keegan Murray at 4 because that's who they want. But they think they can get Murray at 6 or 7, so they're trying to facilitate a trade. The Knicks reportedly are interested in moving up. I don't believe that's going to happen. One, the Knicks can't afford to give up all those picks for one young... They drafted Obi Toppin. They've drafted that. Whoever they get at 4, even if it's Jaden Ivey, isn't fixing their problems. They have enough problems right now.
Yeah, and they would have to give up a lot of equity to get up into that position. Even we were talking about the Pistons even moving up from 5 to 4. Maybe Jerami Grant and that 5 pick. And to me, Jerami Grant's a lot just to move up one position. I know we can get more value for him outside of that.
So I pulled this on YouTube earlier in the show. What's Jerami Grant worth? A lottery pick or a mid to late first round pick? 61% of the chat said mid to late.
Yeah, I would say mid. So I don't know. It depends on what the team needs. It depends on how desperate they are. If they're a wing player
So let me
away,
put you on the spot as the GM.
Okay.
You're the GM of the Sacramento Kings. How far are you willing to trade back? What pick?
8 at the most.
Okay.
8.
You're the Portland GM. Do you offer the number 7 overall pick for Jerami Grant?
I do.
Really?
I do.
What? I don't get this.
Why?
If you're the Portland GM, I know this benefits Detroit, but
it benefits Portland too. What is Portland going to get at that spot, right? So they're going to wish to get a player like Jerami Grant, don't you think?
No.
At 7 in this draft?
At 7, they likely can walk away with at best, sure, a Jerami Grant kind of player.
So why not just cash in and already like get the established value?
Because they're trying to win now.
Right, exactly. So they don't need to groom some kid at 7.
But I fundamentally disagree with that. I think they should trade Damian Lillard. I think they should blow it all up and not give up the number 7 overall pick for a guy who's on the last year of his contract. Who, even if you do a sign and trade with, like it doesn't even make sense.
They're kind of in where the Pistons were like 5 to 6 years ago. Like they're never gonna be champions, but they're still trying to keep the train together, and they're putting older people together just to make the playoffs and get bounced in the first or second round.
That was my question earlier.
So it's where you want to be. Like, do you still want to make the playoffs, or do you want to, like you said, blow it up and have a brand new reset there? And I don't know. I'm rooting for my boy Chauncey Billups. I want him to at least have a shot to coach up good talent right now.
That's a tricky one, man.
Yeah.
That's a tricky one. I wouldn't do it if I was the Portland GM, but the final GM you're going to have to be Troy Weaver.
That's the boss.
What's the move? If Ivy is your guy, are you going up to 4? And at what cost?
We've seen Troy Weaver trade up to get his guys before. You know, obviously in the Killian Hayes draft, he traded up to get Sadiq Bey, and he traded up to get Isaiah Stewart, and those picks turned out pretty well for us.
Halliburton.
Bey could be an all-time great as far as shooting three-pointers. And you remember that. We did our first ever Woodward Sports NBA draft party here, and there was a couch in the studio.
Yep.
And after the 7 pick, we wrapped it up about 10. And then the minute we walk out of here, it's like, Pistons make a trade. Pistons make a trade.
And we have gone on for hours after now.
Yep.
We learned that mistake.
So Weaver he'll do it. If it's his guy and he wants to make the move, you know, he's been quoted to saying that he's looking for somebody with the most potential and upside at this position where he's picking. And then he kind of hammered that down with like the ability to grow. Not just you have tremendous attributes. Like, he wants the mental ability to grow within the system too. So I don't know. I'm in the same position I was with the Lions, right? I trust the GM now. I'm not worried going into the draft. I think Troy Weaver, if it makes sense to trade up and go get that, he'll do it. If it makes sense to sit there at 5, he'll do it.
Final
and
question.
If we get Sharp at 5, I'm not mad at Sharp.
I'd be surprised.
Yeah.
Final question. Do you trade Jerami Grant before or after the draft, or I should just say before the season starts?
You explore options. I mean, go back to a Joe Dumars quote. There's no sacred cows on this team, and he's not a sacred cow, but he also is a valuable asset. You know, like, this team would look fine with Jerami Grant on the court.
Would they, though? Because I want you to imagine this lineup. Bagley at the 5. Well, let's just start from the guards. Cade running the point. Let's say you get Jaden Ivey. So you have Ivey at the 2, Sadiq at 3, or Ivy at 3, Sadiq at 2. I don't really care. The point is that's your that's your backcourt realistically.
Yep.
So Marvin Bagley moves to the 5, and Grant is a 4. But Grant is a ball-dominant 4. He's not a off-the-ball player like a Jaden Ivey is. So I have one basketball on the court.
Right.
And I'm trying to grow the number 5 overall pick, who I think can be Cade's co-star. But instead of doing that, I'm having him play 3rd, maybe 4th fiddle, because the honest truth of this team is Cade's the 1.
Yep.
Sadiq's the 2.
Yep.
If Jerami Grant stays, he's the 3. And Jaden Ivey's going to be the 4, and I don't like that.
Yeah, I mean, we saw this last year. There was a lot of concerns with once Cade, Sadiq, and Grant were all on the court together that they couldn't pass the ball around. They couldn't get scoring across, spread out as well. But it turned out to not be so bad. Like, they were all willing and able to live off each other. I think they were all averaging double figures. Pistons Talk posted a graphic about it the other day. And, you know, he kind of like, yeah, they can't exist on the same court, but they can. And like, think about that, though. When we're talking about Jerami Grant, we're like, man, he's a missing piece on a team where he can be like the 4 or the 3 option, and that may be a championship team. Why can't that be here in Detroit? Like, that's what he's going to be here.
Because
so
by the time
we're not looking at him to be the Jerami Grant we needed him to be when he came in, right?
Yeah, but you're 3-4 years away. No, even longer. I think 4 or 5 years away from being a legitimate Eastern Conference contender. like a team that is in the Eastern Conference Finals, actually in a series, not just we got to the second round, we made a run like the Hawks did a few years ago, and then they were out, and then they didn't make the playoffs this year. So they're a ways away. Cade needs to enter his prime. Who you draft at number 5 will be developing and trying to enter their prime. Sadiq will be in their prime. That's all 4 years from now.
Yeah.
Jerami Grant will be much older, on the last year of his deal probably. And is he going to allow those 3 players to grow together? I'd rather keep I'd rather keep Cunningham, Bey, and this number 5 overall pick as the core, dynasty 3, and let Grant walk out the door. And if I have to lose another 60 games this year, which I don't think they will.
God, I hope not.
Well, then, you know what? It's a young team, so be it. But look at Boston. Boston was able to fill in with vets. There's still free agency period. You can still make trades. You don't need a Grant. Go get experienced 4s and 5s that can stretch the stretch the floor and protect the rim. Go get a veteran guard who can be on the court at one given time with a rookie, or Sadiq Bey outside of Killian Hayes that can distribute and run the offense and make sure everything's smooth. There are a lot of options for this team.
And all those are great options, honestly, and that's what's good about this is we're sitting literally on I don't want to say lottery ticket because it's not like we're going to blow up with the guy, but there's no bad scenarios, right? Worst case scenario, we hang on to Jerami Grant and he plays for the Pistons. That's not a bad scenario. And, he's not going to be there in 4 years, like you said, but we're not building around him for 4 years. He's there to kind of help the youth get involved. But if we trade him, it's just nice to have this valuable asset that we don't even really need, which is weird
and
for
you
the
can
Pistons.
Afford him.
Exactly.
Because you're not spending that money in free agency.
Exactly. So, the Pistons are in really, really good shape. Like how the Lions have draft capital, the Pistons have player capital right now. And when's the last time we had that?
Never.
Right.
Probably since they drafted Dumars and Isaiah.
Yeah, maybe during the Bad Boys era or the going to work era. We had some movable pieces
Not
like
that
a memo and stuff like that. But no, I've never seen a team, even though that we were bad last year, like this lineup is kind of stacked where we can move players around. And
I think
people actually want Grant.
My biggest concern is going to be how does Grant fit with year 2 of Cade, who's probably going to be 27-7 this year.
I can't wait to watch that dude mature on the court.
Sadiq Bey could be 22, 23 a night easily.
Yeah.
And then you're looking at who's the 3, and do I want Grant or this guy I'm taking a chance on at number 5? For me, it's an easy decision, and I get why it's difficult for a lot of people, but if you want veteran presence, go trade Jerami Grant for a veteran 5 or somewhere, or like Atlanta, offer Grant a few second rounders and go get Bogdanovich in 13. And I think that's more than okay.
I wouldn't be
mad at that. And then you get
a
veteran shooter.
Yep.
You go find in free agency a veteran 5 who can protect the rim and run the pick and roll along with Bagley. And now you have a young hybrid lineup that can play with a big. And we saw what Marvin Bagley did wonders for Cade Cunningham when he came in last February.
Oh, man, it gave him a lob option, that really opened up Cade's game, and it kind of unlocked part of Cade that wasn't there before that just because he couldn't just throw the ball at the rim. And you can see he's more than a willing passer. He's more than a willing facilitator, and I love the signing of Bagley. It's kind of like the Golden State getting Wiggins. Whenever you can steal one of those top guys that didn't really pan out for their first team and you get them on a deal, there's no lose in that.
Wiggins.
If they turn out to be, that's what I said.
Wiggins
just
is a perfect
Wiggins.
example.
And not saying Bagley will be Wiggins, but Bagley can be a Wiggins type player. He's kind of same build, same. He could do it.
Top pick in the draft, right?
Yeah.
A great prospect.
You got to stack top picks.
Yeah.
You put Cade, Bagley, and then I love the development of Sadiq Bey. Not to go over the top with it, but you're looking at the Splash Brothers, for the Warriors with Clay and Steph. Cade's not the shooter Steph is, but he's definitely going to be the premier point guard of our generation here in Detroit like Steph is there. And then you got a guy like Sadiq Bey who can shoot the lights out like Clay was in the beginning of his career. So I love that combination. I love the Bagley signing. It's just an exciting time to be a Detroit Pistons fan. And tomorrow night's going to be fun. We're going to have all the Woodward Pistons guys in here. You're going to be watching the draft. Live stream starts at 7:30, so make sure you guys tune in for that so we can hang out and conversate. And then the next day, Jeff and I are filling in for
Big D.
Big D Energy.
Yep,
and,
yep.
Jeff is a basketball savant.
Friday's show, I think, for Big D is going to be one of the more special shows because Jeff is going to be on there for 2 hours.
Right, doing what Jeff does.
I love it. He's everything I think we all thought he would be. He's fantastic.
Oh, he's brilliant when it comes to basketball, man. Like,
oh yeah,
there aren't many people I sit down. I'm like, all right, I got to be prepared for this conversation.
Yeah.
But Jeff's one of those guys. Like, I better come with notes.
Jeff's awesome.
Yep.
Well, let's take a quick break. When we get back, we'll wrap up before we get to Mailbag at 9:50. But before we do, the best defense on and off the court is Guardian Alarm. 24/7 local monitoring, guys. Set up your equipment, whatever is needed for your home security. Guardian Alarm takes care of you. It's very important to understand that they are your local security experts. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT. That's 1-800-STAY-IT again, Fish.
Stay out.
That's 1-800-STAY-OUT, everybody. Guardian Alarm.
Get out.
Nice new logo, by the way. Talk about the
slick.
rebrand.
Yep.
Sweet logo, Guardian Alarm. Shout out to Guardian Alarm.
Yeah, it is a nice logo.
We'll see you guys in a little
Since
bit.
1930.
I'm Kay Cunningham. Working with Hall Financial to purchase my first home was easier than I could have ever imagined. They treated me like family from start to finish. Find out for yourself at callhallfirst.com.
Boom! Comeback victory for those White Sox yesterday. Boo-boo! That's 7 out of 8 winners I gave you on this segment. Hopefully, you've been tailing along. You got to make sure you're watching us over at the Woodward Bet Show at 4:30. And you also got to make sure you've already downloaded oddstrader.com from the App Store. It's got live scoring, play-by-play updates, and it's the best place to compare all the odds at all the sports books right in the palm of your hand. Hey, let's get back to that winner so we can stay hot and keep getting us some fun coupons. Let's just bounce back with the Red Sox today against our Tigers. Skubal's given up 9 earned runs in his last 9 innings. Waka's been pitching pretty well. Let's just stay with the better team, hotter pitcher. Oddstrader.com. Woodward Bets. Check it out.
Make sure you're listening to Woodward Sports all day long. Start your morning with the Morning Woodward Show. Spend middays with Big D Energy. Watch and listen your drive home with the Bottom Line. And don't forget about Woodward Bets Daily. All live. All right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
Open all summer long from Memorial Day to Labor Day. Bedrock Detroit brings you the Monroe Street Midway where there will be basketball, roller skating, mini golf, art installations, live music, and food trucks. The free Wi-Fi so you can work from the park. It's a great event. I'll be down there actually with my family this weekend. Should be a good time. Summer is better.
Hold on. Are you actually going to be down this weekend?
Yeah.
Okay. Want to make sure.
Double checking you. Hey. Facts.
Summer is better at the Monroe Street Midway.
It is. That's such a cool
thing. Brought to you by
thing.
Bedrock Detroit. Thanks for being an asshole, Fish.
I have my own roller skates.
Do you?
Know that? Yeah, I just got a new pair of roller skates.
No way.
We're roller skating Monday at the Rolladium in Waterford. Shout out to all the big booty girls in Waterford roller skating. I'll see you next Monday.
Are you going back there next Monday?
I think next Monday 4th of July?
Yeah, no, 2 Mondays.
Okay, so yeah.
Wait.
Maybe next Monday
Next
then.
week's the 29th or whatever.
Okay, Jobby Dooner Friday, though.
My wife leaves on the 3rd
My
for like
wife?
2 weeks.
Oh, boy.
2 weeks?
Overseas.
Oh, boy.
Visiting family.
Hey.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Different area code.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. Welcome to the first official edition of Let's Ask Fish.
Oh, boy.
Everybody in the chat. Everybody in the chat, feel free to ask Fish or whatever you'd like, personal.
Oh, boy.
Doesn't matter. It could be good, bad. I don't care. So I'll start it off. Fish?
Yes, sir.
What'd you do yesterday?
Where are you yesterday? Well, I told you earlier Serena Williams played yesterday. It was her first return since last year. She played doubles, so you can say what you want about how you play doubles versus singles. She played she was with a Turkish woman, and they won. So, not shocker. She said she's going to play in Wimbledon. I don't know how well she'll do. By the way, it starts Monday.
Wimbledon?
So, yeah. So we'll see how well she'll do there.
Terry Foster got some great stories about when he was at Wimbledon.
He does have good stories.
Like, they do it in Wimbledon. Like, he was telling like Vegas type stories about Wimbledon.
Love their strawberries and cream.
Yes, there you go.
Do you guys like grass court tennis? Because I know Neil Rule, Big D Energy 11-1, hates anything that's not hard court.
I don't mind clay. I don't mind grass. I don't mind cement. Play on whatever. Who cares?
Okay. Yeah, he just says not real tennis. If you don't
It
play
is
in
interesting
hard
though
court.
how different tennis players suck on different courts.
It is.
Like it's the same damn game. Does it really matter? But I guess it does.
It does.
Yeah,
it
the
actually
ball
makes
does
a big
bounce
difference.
differently, yeah.
So hard court, right? Hard court typically favors the stronger, powerful players, right? And
'Cause that ball just
Clay, the more athletic players and the more finesse and accurate. And then grass is just a really strong mix of both. So it challenges the players. There's a reason. So, like, everyone says, like, Nadal's the greatest tennis player of all time.
The greatest clay court.
Like, 15 of his majors.
John McEnroe, yeah.
Yeah, well, 15 of his
Andre
majors
Agassi.
come out on one
America.
court, which is clay court. Like,
Yeah, that's what's crazy. Like, he's so dominant here, but he can't win over here. That's
so it's tricky.
It's neat though. It's a neat aspect. Like, imagine if like basketball was played like, all right, this week we're playing at LCA, next week we're playing at Rutgers outside on concrete. Like, it would be fun.
I find it.
I gotta ask you a question. Have you guys been watching the College World Series at all?
I have.
What do you
I
think?
try to watch every year.
I think baseball's onto something good. And I don't say this often about the game of baseball. What do you think about the ump/catcher cam when they go to that? I think that is one of the coolest angles in sports, and honestly, it makes the game more exciting to watch. I'm not watching it from center field, right?
But you're not going to do that for the whole. You're not going to have a game broadcast from the ump cam.
I would watch a whole game from ump cam.
Me and you are nerds, though.
No, I would agree if you cut to where the ball goes, obviously.
Yeah, obviously, once the hit comes.
So I agree because, let's just call it what it is. From the center field cam, you can throw 97.
It
doesn't look like 97.
Exactly.
But when you're behind home plate, holy hell, that thing comes quick.
Yeah.
And you have more of an appreciation for the hitter.
It's like a paintball beat. If you ever had a paintball shot at you and you see it closing in on you, it just like looks like a little phew, and that's what it looks like. So if anybody's watching the College World Series, watch when they go to ump cam, and I think they have it on streaming too. Like, you can strictly watch the ump cam.
It's amazing.
Major League Baseball needs to put that in today. Like, they need some exciting, and I think it just makes the game more exciting, or at least it does for me.
They have those for certain games, though, like college football playoffs. They'll have, you can watch the spider cam, which is the
but
top
ump cam's
cam.
so cool. I love ump cam, man. Like 100-mile-an-hour fastball, you get to see the break of a breaking ball. You get to see the slider.
Change-ups are the best.
You see the art of the game a lot more. I love it. They put it in today, MLB.
They should. They're not going.
All right,
to,
well,
but they should.
we got a lot of Ask Fish questions in the chat. Fish, what is your favorite Lunchable, and why is it the pizza one?
Why is it the pizza one? I'm a big pizza fan.
So which one's your favorite Lunchable?
Either that or the cheese and crackers. You can't go wrong with the cheese and crackers.
Fish is such a... He's English, 100%. Fish, would you rather sit at a Tigers game with Adam, Terry, or Maddie?
Oh, why are you making me pick?
Pick.
I'll choose Adam. Adam Badu.
My man.
By the way, are you going Saturday?
I haven't even checked. Yeah, I have to check. Fish, I'm
How do you
horrible.
not know these things?
Because, buddy, I am busy as hell.
I know,
I don't
okay.
even have time to be a husband.
But you have something called a mobile phone. Which has,
a mobile phone.
Which has
You have your mobile.
Which has a calendar in it. And you can have notifications on it.
Send them a calendar invite,
so that
Fish.
tells, I should do that.
You should.
God damn it, Fish. Fish, who's your favorite superhero?
Probably Superman.
Ooh,
Superman.
You and Jay
interesting.
Towers, all right.
Who's your favorite superhero?
I'm a Batman guy. I like Batman because he's a normal dude. Like, that's always my argument. Batman doesn't have superpowers. He's just a normal dude. Like, any of us could be Batman if we were cool enough.
Well,
Can't be Superman. I can't fly. I don't.
You guys are going to hate me. I hate DC and Marvel comics.
Oh, that's fine. But who's your favorite superhero then?
I don't have one. I hated them all growing up. Hate them when I'm an adult.
Yeah, I mean, I
I'm
don't watch
probably a
movies, but I
horrible
still
human
know
being.
who superheroes are.
I never got into them.
If I'm going Marvel, I'm going Iron Man for the same reasons.
Ooh, I like that.
Just a dude, smart dude, rich dude, just doing good. Those are my peoples.
Fish, which actor would play you in a movie? Final question.
Ooh.
Why do I answer that?
I'd say Leonardo DiCaprio.
I don't know. I was going for...
I mean, I wouldn't know what actor played in a movie.
Paul Walker, if he was still alive.
Who's the short guy from Game of Thrones?
Oh, God, what is it? Peter Dumblage or
Yeah,
something like that? You'd have the dwarf play him? No.
I mean, he's tiny as hell.
He is tiny as hell. You are tiny as hell.
Even though I'm like 5'5", which is like the average male height.
Yeah, but let's turn it into an action movie and have Tom Cruise play Fish. That'd be great.
Fish, who yells at you more, Adam or your father?
Oh, definitely Adam.
We gotta go. When we get back,
it's
mailbag
not a
time.
bad
Keep
thing,
the
though.
questions coming, whether it's for Fish, myself, or Stick. We'll be back in just a bit, but before we do, I got to tell you about the lifestyle beverage that is Cintron. Cintron is the official energy drink partner of the Detroit Red Wings, the Detroit Pistons. You can find it exclusively in LCA, and of course, they are sponsors of the Woodward Sports Network. So we
Yeah,
appreciate
and
them
Pine
very
Knob.
much.
You can get them
And
at Pine Knob, too. We had them last night.
Absolutely.
Delicious.
Absolutely. Well, check out Cintron in select Kroger locations, and we'll see you guys in just a bit.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
It's a great day to get some Cintron in your life. Okay. There it is. Cintron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Cintron World, baby. Cintron, available at select Krogers, and if you want to know how, go to @CintronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
And we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show. Mailbag time. Get your questions in the chat. We'll start with one of the most important ones I've seen in a while. Adam, if you had to rebrand any Detroit sports team, who would it be and what would you change it to? God.
Like rebrand like the team
I
name
would never
and the
touch
logos?
the Red Wings or the Tigers.
You can't. They're the original 6, and the
they're
Tigers
iconic.
logo is
The
timeless.
Pistons, I could make a case for, but I think you'd have to change the Lions uniforms. I wouldn't change the team name, but you'd have to rebrand the whole thing. And I kind of like Detroit Lions. I like it.
Yeah, it has to be the Lions, right? It has to be. They're the
Only
the
team that
ones
hasn't
who-
accomplished anything.
Yeah, they don't really have a history to them besides in the 50s.
Yeah, you'd have to.
Right. They're
Based
the
on
ones,
history.
They're the ones you rebrand. You have to because the brand needs it.
God.
But what do you call them? Like, that's the thing.
The Detroit Pussycats.
The Motor City Dan Campbells. That's what I'd call them, the Dan Campbells.
Oh, man. Adam, will you cry if Kate starts for Michigan football this fall? Honestly, I may borderline cry if he's starting.
I'm not allowed to bring up Michigan anymore after this week.
Why?
Why?
Oh,
What happened?
Twitter,
Oh, Tom Brady?
Twitter went at me,
Oh,
baby.
Well,
about the
I
Tom
tried to-
Michigan
Brady
Twitter
I
is
tried
Oh, so
to, like-
butthurt.
Okay,
it was
but
funny.
you knew that was going to happen once you say the name. Like any Michigan slander, they
I
come
think
after
what you said
It wasn't
wrong.
slander.
It wasn't. No, to stick again. Yeah, you made one mistake, and it was people will take anything you say out of context. You have
Yes.
to remember that.
Well, and
So
Owen
you
will
said
quote
that
me
he
out of
didn't-
context.
Well, you did say that he didn't play much for Michigan, right? Because it was the Drew Henson situation back and forth.
Yes.
Technically,
If I
true.
would have said he didn't play full time, that would have been
acceptable, and I don't think any Michigan fan would have had a problem.
But
with
I
it.
said he
The
didn't
truth
play
is-
a
That's a
lot.
lie.
I don't have a problem with Michigan claiming Tom Brady.
I have no problem with them claiming him either. That's where he went. But my problem is
They act
acting
like he was
you,
a first
you
round pick
cared
coming
while
out.
he was here, acting like he was the golden child. It's like, no, he earned that over time. But when he was here, it wasn't as clear as everybody says it is.
I agree with that 100%.
That's all. And I love Michigan. Like, I have a Michigan jersey at home. So yeah, it was funny though. I have never seen a bunch of more hurt individuals than the Michigan Twitter crew.
You knew that was going to happen once you said.
I didn't
Tom-
know. The
You had an
conversation
idea.
wasn't even about Tom Brady. But either way, back to Mailbag. I don't want to make this about me.
Can I ask a question, by the way? So Gronk retired yesterday.
Yeah.
Do we actually think he's retired?
No.
Okay.
He just doesn't want to go to OTAs.
But do we think he's going back to the Bucks or somewhere else?
He's never going to play with anybody but Tom.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe.
So yes, he's going to play.
I think he's done.
Well, you think he's done?
Yeah, he's making way too much money off the field. He's never spent a single dollar of his
Isn't that
NFL
awesome?
salary.
Only
I
lived
love
off
that for him.
endorsements.
It's so awesome.
He's going to come back about week 6.
Yeah.
You know, then he'll
Maybe
play the
even
rest of the
later.
season. Yeah, maybe.
How late can he go in, by the way? Isn't there a rule?
No.
No? So he can.
No, if you're a free agent, you can be picked up at any time.
So he can say, week 1 of the playoffs, he can just come in.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen the Patriots do it. They've dropped players the week of the playoffs and picked up new guys.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
If Cade starts, does Michigan lose out on possible 5-star prospects? Yeah, I do think so. I do. This is what I think. Not only is JJ the better quarterback, and it's too obvious, McNamara is an average game managing quarterback. You can win with that when you have a stacked team. You're not returning with your defensive coordinator who's now in the NFL. You're not returning with 3 first-round picks who are now in the NFL. It's the offense that has the stacked side of the ball.
Yeah.
And are you going to limit it by putting a game-managing quarterback in there who will not win you the games you need to win this year, which are difficult? On the road to Penn State, you're playing – I think you're home to Penn State. On the road to
Ohio
Iowa.
State.
And then home to Michigan State, on the road in Columbus. You will lose 3 out of those 4 games with Cade McNamara. I believe JJ can win you 3 out of those 4. There's a big difference. Having said that, you start JJ McCarthy and you win 10 games. I think that's more impactful than winning 9-10 games with Cade McNamara.
It's a tough situation, and I always go back, when you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have 1. So to me, neither of them are the guy.
But that wasn't the case, really. Usually it's we're just not sure.
Right.
With last year, Cade was the right guy for the job. He was more experienced. He was a junior.
He was calmer.
He was the more calming guy.
Yeah.
You typically don't see a freshman start in college unless they're playing at Alabama, Clemson, or Ohio State because they're surrounded with talent. There was no wide receiver talent. Ronnie Bell was down early. It was a really run-heavy team that you just needed to run play action and dump underneath routes. That's fine. Cade was good last year. He was enough to win the Big Ten last year, not because of him, because of how stacked Michigan were. Having said that, this year, they don't have that luxury. And I don't care what anyone tells me. The kid's a 5-star recruit. If he sucks, stick. Throw him out there the first 4 games and let's see. And if he sucks, throw Cade in. All right, Michigan just can never get it right with the quarterback.
Right. I'm waiting for not this year, next year. I think Dante Moore from King is going to go there, and he's, to me, one of the best high school prospects I've seen in a long time. And when we did the Cass King game, Jim Harbaugh was there on the sidelines watching. So I know he's on the radar, and I hope he goes to Michigan. And he was at Cam Newton's camp over the summer already, and Cam Newton we couldn't speak highly enough about. Right now, this is the conversation. Do you want slow and steady, or do you want high risk, high reward situation? It's up to Jim. That's why he gets paid the money. I'm going to go high risk, high reward because that's the kind of guy I am.
I agree.
So
100%.
I would go JJ, yeah.
Megatron or Randy Moss, who would you rather have in their prime? Those are the 2 of the best 3 receivers in NFL history, in my opinion. That's hard.
If I wasn't a Detroit fan, I would. It's Moss, right?
I think it's Moss.
It's got to be.
It is Moss. I mean,
Randy was
what he
just
did
different.
with Minnesota was,
and we could have had him.
Nothing
we
short of
passed
incredible.
on him in the draft.
We don't have to talk about that.
I know, but we could have had both. Why not both?
I mean, what he did with New England and a real quarterback.
When
Tom
you put
Brady.
it with a real quarterback, it was insane.
Oh God!
And he gave Chad Pennington.
I think he's the
career.
fastest vertical wide receiver in NFL history.
The thing that impressed me most about Randy Moss was just. Like, he'd be running, and then he just, at the very last second, he'd pop out his arms and catch the ball. Like, the defender never knew when that ball was coming over his shoulder. And you could watch that film, and that's what he was most impressive. That and his fake moon against the Packers that he got fined for.
I think it's Moss, but I think it's so damn close because Calvin was special. They're both special, but
this is one of those, if you pick one, it's
you're winning
seeming
either way.
like a slight on the other, though, and you're not slighting either of them. I mean,
yeah,
these are the 2 guys, right?
The Lions passed on everyone. Oh, yeah, I know, man. Story of our lifetime. Let's see. One more question before we wrap up today's show. Let's see what we got in the chat. Pistons win less than 30 games next year. Is Casey fired?
No.
No, I think Casey's there until they're ready to compete. I think he'll be their sacrificial lamb, and they'll go for their guy in 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, I think the way that they're building out the entire organization, Casey's a part of this, and a lot of this is a part of Casey's vision and the way they're building the G League team. And, Rob Murphy was overseeing the G League team and has moved up since then. This is the whole process for them, and they're pot committed to Casey and crew, so get comfortable.
100%. Well, Stick, thanks so much for hopping on towards the end. Really appreciate you. Fish, you did awesome today, buddy. Give yourself a round of applause. Westfall, as always, thank you so much to everybody at home.
Oh, you're nice
Thank you
today.
so much. Maddie and Terry will be in tomorrow. We'll have a full normal show.
Yes.
Draft day tomorrow, baby.
Thanks for being
Draft
patient.
day.
Final mock draft tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Going to be a
Jeff
great time with
Iyer
Jeff
free.
and Terry. And that's it for today. Have a
Yes,
great
it
rest of your
is.
Wednesday. Check out Big D Energy at 11. And, of course, The Bottom Line at 2.
Go watch tennis.